Hello, everyone, and welcome to Facets of a Woman. We are here live and we are excited about today. We're excited about what's going to happen in the topic. And before we could get started, I wanted to just lay somewhat of a foundation about Facets of a Woman and just to kind of remind and reiterate those what we are and what we're looking for and what we're standing for. And then we're going to talk about our wonderful guests on this evening. Now, y'all forgive me if it looked like I'm squinting a little bit. So, at Facets of a Woman, we believe women are like diamonds, crafted through pressure, shaped by experience, and refined with purpose. Every woman carries multiple facets: strength, vulnerability, resilience, wisdom, faith, creativity, leadership, and love. Together, these facets reveal her wholeness. We recognize that life does not come without hardships, loss, heartbreak, illness, financial strain, mental challenges, and seasons of uncertainty touch women at every stage of our lives. Yet, even in the hardest moments, a woman's brilliance remains. Facets of a Woman exist to empower women to build, rebuild, and restore every area of life. Through community, education, mentorship, and shared stories, we provide tools and resources that help women move from survival to stability and from stability to significance. Here, we bring you real conversations, practical resources, and wisdom from leaders and business owners who have walked the journey and emerged stronger. We are committed to fostering entrepreneurial connections, cultivating purpose driven leadership, and supporting women as they rebuild careers, businesses, wealth, ministries, families, health, and wellness. Here, every story matters, every journey is honored, every woman is seen. This is Facets of a Woman, where strength meets sisterhood and brilliance shine fully. Thank you again so much for joining. Thank you for coming on. And as I stated, we are we are excited today because we have a wonderful guest that's on with us, and I can't wait for her to share all this valuable information with you. And before she does, I just want to speak a little bit about her, and of course, she's going to be able to tell you more about what she is, what she does, and the importance actually that she weighs here in society and all the things that she does. Give me a moment as I look to obtain. I think I have it here, guys. And it is right here. Okay. The wonderful woman that we have on the panel today is Valerie James. And Valerie, you let me know if I am saying your business incorrectly, pronouncing it, from Plaudit Profits, LLC.
Yes.
Okay, that's correct. Okay. She is the founder of Plaudit Profits, LLC, an organization dedicated to helping individuals gain control of their finances, rebuild their credit, and create lasting financial stability. After spending over 25 years as an accounting professional and earning her master's degree from Syracuse University, she saw firsthand the financial inequalities many hardworking people face, and she knew there had to be a better way to help. Her journey led her to start Plaudit Profits with a mission to simplify financial knowledge and empower people with practical tools to take charge of their financial future. That's awesome. She recognized how confusing credit systems can be and how deeply they impact everyday life. So she built a company that turns complexity into clarity and anxiety into confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Valerie Jane. Ooh, sorry about that fake clap noise. Next time I will. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Go ahead, hon, and just begin to let us know a little bit more about you and share.
Well, first, Flossie, I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for allowing me, inviting me to your platform. I really appreciate it. I've known you, Flossie, now for over 30 some odd years. When I was young, and I would get on your family church van.
Yes.
I wasn't even 10 years old yet. I was given your family church van. And I will say, even when I did get saved and I began to find my way to Christ, when I got to the church, I hadn't seen you in years, but when I got to the church, how just in his love, he would put me with the family that I've known in my youth and in my young adulthood, between you and your family, right there, smack dead in my journey to salvation and loving Christ. There you guys were, and you've never changed. And look at what you're doing now for these beautiful women and these people. This is you, Flossie, and I'm glad to see you still doing it. Like women, I hope you like. I thank God for Flossie. I don't think I would be where I am now in salvation had she not been at the bedrock. She kept telling me you could do it. If I had questions, I'm Flossie. Am I if I had questions, I had nowhere else to go. I would go to her, and she would sit there for hours and just talk to me and help me, just encouraging me to keep going, encourage me to pray. And sometimes I'd be like, Flossie, can you just answer my question? She's like, yeah, but you have to pray. And I'm like, I have to pray. Just tell me. But that was the best thing she could have did, because through that, I found my way through prayer. I found my way to Christ through prayer. So
Yes. To
thank you.
God be all the glory. I'm honored,
Yeah,
and I'm
thank you.
excited to have you aboard and can't wait, like I said, for you to just share because you have so much to share.
Yes, yes. Okay, so today we're talking about money matters.
Yeah.
So money, make your money work so hard for you that you do not have to work for it. So that's what we talk about in Poetic Profit. So today we're going to talk about money matters, and I'm going to ask you all, women, are you leaving money on the table? Next slide. So give your money a job that works for you. How do you do that? Through budgeting, through saving, through investing, through retirement, investing in retirement, budgeting. So you can use companies like Monarch Money, all in one tracker, where you can, so Monarch Money, every time you connect like your credit cards to Monarch money, and every time you swipe your card, Monarch is picking up all your transactions. So it's letting you know how you're spending, where your money is going. And this, you can just go www.monarchmoney.com and connect and set up your budget, set up your bank account, and you can say, okay, you can build your budget inside Monarch. So let's just say for groceries, you only want to spend $100. So Monarch is going to let you know how much you're spending, and then let you know that, hey, you're getting close to that $100 because that's what you budgeted. You budget for your rent, for gas, for entertainment, for saving, for investing. You want to put all of that in Monarch. It's going to let you know where you are today, tomorrow, 30 days, so that you stay on track. I'm saving. So people say, okay, how much money should I save? Like everybody's talking about saving. You want to save anywhere from 6 months. I say, especially with today's economy, how we just is so much uncertainty. I say try to save a year wages.
Wow.
Start with 3 months, then add on another month, then another month, and another month, and eventually you'll have a year. To where, because if you lose your job tomorrow, then what? Like then what? So you want to give yourself a space to look for another job. So if you have your month savings, so if you lose your job but you're not satisfied with your job, you want to find something different, you're giving yourself room so that you can make decisions. Because believe it or not, you don't have to make a lot of money to be able to make big moves. It's just you assigning your money a job. So
Yeah.
you're saying, okay,
I love that.
right? You're just assigning your money a job. You're giving me freedom. You're giving me leverage. So this, even if it's $50 a pay period, over time it builds, and it could be that year, and you've just been small dollars consistently over time. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I have 500. Oh my gosh, I have 1,000. Oh my god, and it's just you, and it's like you set it and forget it. My daughter, I just we my daughter has a job. She's in Ohio. She has her first job, and so she's been there for about 3 years. And we set up her 401k plan, and we set it up. We explained to her what it was. We didn't tell her how to get her money, but we just showed her what it was. And so we looked at it. Yes, she's been there for 3 years. We looked at it yesterday. I said, "How much you have in it?" She was like, "I don't know." So she brought it up. She has $30,000 in her 401k account, and she just set it and forget it. Like she didn't even know. She didn't even know. And so if I would not have told her to look at it, and maybe 6 years she would have 60,000. She's like, "Oh my god!" But right now she knows, but she still doesn't know how to access it because we're not gonna tell her yet. We'll tell her when the time comes because she's still young. So when you're saving that emergency fund, you want to put in a high yielding interest savings account where your money, instead of being in a regular savings account like a Chase or Wells Fargo or Citibank, where you're only going to get 0.0001% of your income, you want to put it in a high yielding interest savings account where you're going to get anywhere from, like right now I saw it's like 3.3%. If you go on Ally or SoFi or American Express, even have one where you're going to get, so your money's going to grow. Rather, it's going to grow faster, 3.3% APR rather than 0.001. Because think about the price of eggs, right? Inflation. And because of inflation, the price of eggs have gone from like $2-3 to like $12, right? So think about your money in this regular savings account, how it's slow, moving very slow. But in a high yielding interest savings account, it's moving a little faster with the price of everything else that's growing. So when you have it sitting in a regular savings account, your money is losing value because the price of everything is growing. So if you put $10, you're now, with the price of eggs, you can't afford eggs, right? You see what I mean? So if you have it in a high yielding interest savings account, you're building faster. So you still can't afford eggs if you have $10, but you are closer to affording eggs rather than it being in a 0.000 interest rate account. Right? It's getting you there a little faster with the economy, how inflation is causing everything to go up. Investing. So if you have a job, like when you work at your job, the company sometimes offer 401k plans, right? And sometimes they offer Roth, and sometimes they match it. So if your company offers a 401k plan, you want to, and it's just say they offer to match 4%, you want to put in 4%. If they offer Roth and a match, you want to put in the max of the max of the match as well, because that's free money. That's free money. When the company decides what they're going to pay you, so let's just say instead of them paying you $25, they give you $20 and then they give you a 401k package so it'll give you the 401k and they'll match it 4%. They'll give you the Roth, they'll match that 4%. They'll offer you like a FSA plan, federal flexible spending account, or an HSA. And so with your FSA, so that's pre-tax dollars that you can use to go buy like women products, Tylenol, pads, like in Target. You can use your FSA card. You can use it for your doctor appointments, your dentist, and those are all pre-tax dollars. And when you pay taxes at the end of the year, you're still going to pay the amount that's used. But why does it make sense? Because it's deducting your income. So it's deducting your taxable income, right? So if you make let's just say $100 and it's taking $10. So instead of the $100 being taxed, only 90 is going to be taxed. And then when you go, let's say later on in the year, so that $10 difference that you used at the end of the year, then it's going to be taxed, right? So it's saving you. So instead of the $100 being taxed, only what you use at the end of the year is going to be taxed, which is better. So you're having more money that you can use your money and invest your money during the year rather than waiting for the end of the year and waiting. And that's another conversation because, but that's talking about like your tax return. Like I try to share with my students, you don't want to get a tax return, and so that's another conversation. And so, but for your pre-tax dollars, you basically want to take advantage of that because putting money into your 401k, so you're basically saying, okay, so I found about a company. So Home Depot offered their employees stock in the company. Last I looked, Home Depot stock was like $390 something a share. So they offer stock, and then they offer 401k, and they match it, and they offer vacation, pay vacation, even if you're part-time, pay vacation. And so with all these benefits, so if you work with a company and they're offering all these benefits, you want everything. If they're offering stock, you want stock. If they're offering stock options, you want the option to buy their shares. If they're offering a 401k and they're matching, you want it, because instead of them paying it to you in dollars, they're giving it to you the compensation in benefits, because they have set a budget. They said, okay, for this employee, well, we're looking for XYZ, whatever your XYZ title is for that person. And we're going to put together, let's just say, we're going to put together $50,000 for that person, right? So you're going to get paid 25,000, but let's just say you're going to get paid 40,000, right? They put aside 50,000, but you're going to get compensated 40,000. And then at 10,000, then you're going to get in the benefits. So when you don't take advantage of the benefits, you're giving them back the 10,000 and you're only accepting 40,000. When the idea with the benefits was to compensate you 50,000. So you want to ask yourself, when they give you benefits, you want everything, because that's your compensation, that's your package.
That's a good point to make and remind people.
Yeah, yeah. And so on that note, so with your 401k, that's for your retirement. That's for money for later, right? Because at some point you're not going to be working anymore. You're gonna need to have income for the future when you're like when you want to retire. Some people, and for those that are like, well, my daughter, she's 30, and I have a my daughter's 30, my middle daughter is 18, and my baby is 13. So we talk to them about when they want to retire. We're having these money conversations at the dinner table. We're talking about savings account. We're talking about investing. We're talking about stocks, bonds. And they ask me so where should I buy shares? And so I tell them, well, where do you like to shop? Like my older daughter, she was a dancer. She wants to buy Nike sneakers, and I'm like, well, and I would say to her, well, you can't buy a Nike sneaker if you don't have a Nike sock, because Nike is getting the profits. You're getting nothing. So you want to buy into something that you're going to buy from, so that you're in partnership rather than you're just a consumer. So think of it like that. It's like what I tell her and what I tell my girls. And so you want to max out their match because of for your retirement, because at some point you're going to stop working, and you want to be able to, in your able body stage, while you have strength, you want to use that income to prepare for the future, where you don't have to be like 70, 80 years old and you still have to work, right? If you work, you want to work because you want to, not because you have to. And so when you plan, like you budget, you save, you invest, then when that time comes, when you want to put your foot up and you want to just get a boathouse, or just go every year, go cruising, you've planned to where you've set yourself up. So that's what your life looks like in retirement.
I like that.
And so then here's the other area where we are sometimes get taken advantage of, the credit, right? So the problem is, think about the credit, right? So these creditors, American Express, MasterCard, Discover, they go on the college dorms and they offer credit to these young students before they even know what it is. Like, so it's like you mentioned credit. They're like, well, how does that work? So you're telling me you're going to give me a card and I don't have to pay that back like now? And I can go, you're going to give me a card that has money and I can go use it now? And they're like, yeah. And I don't have to pay it back? And they're like, yeah. And it's like, no, but you do have to pay it back. And if you don't pay it back, you're going to have to pay interest. And they don't talk about that in school. We're not taught about credit in school, but yet the credit card companies are right there at the colleges getting these kids to sign up money for these credit cards, right? And so the credit is it's a tool, right? So credit is not bad. There's good credit and there's bad credit. But if we're not careful, we can think credit is just like disposable income when it's not, right? And so there are some negative items that can affect your credit score that you'll pay more. So if you are late on your credit, if you're late, let's just say if you have issues on your credit report where you have like collection accounts, charge off, child support. Well, I mean, you guys probably, you just never know, because I've seen it is yeah, it's not just a man concern. It's women also get, targeted for child support issues. So yeah, when you have those things in your credit report, it can make your other credit cards, the interest rate just skyrocket. So if you have any type of derogatory items in your credit report, your car note, you pay more for getting a car note. Instead of you getting a 4%, 3% interest rate, a 3, 4, 5% interest rate, you're getting like a 12, 20, sometimes 30 something. And the same with credit cards, mortgage, rent. Now, if your rent is, even with your credit score now, like you may not be able to rent, so it can negatively, so having derogatory items in your credit report can negatively affect, your money, because now you have to pay more on interest rather than, just using that money for something that matters to you. You're paying 20%, 30% in interest payments. And so I like to share with how the credit, because a lot of people ask that they don't understand. I heard somebody say, "What the FICO?" Right? Like, what the FICO? Like, what is that? Like, what is FICO? How does that work? So believe it or not, right? So it's how did the FICO system come about? It's two guys, one named Fair, one named Isaac, that came together and said, "Hey, we came with a strategy on how to quantify a credit score." And so they named their corporation Fair Isaac, better known as FICO. And FICO is like a mostly used scoring model that is about 90% of lenders use a FICO score to make lending decisions. And so how it works is that for payment history, so 35% of that score is a part of payment history. So that's why no matter what you do, you want to make sure you make your payments timely, because that's 35% of your credit score. Amounts owed. So amounts owed, this is utilization. So if you have $1,000 credit limit, you want to try if it so some people say 30%, 20%. If you're on average, let's just say you're not looking to buy anything, you have your car, you paid a great interest, you have your house, you have everything you need, you're not looking to buy anything, then 30% is okay. But if you're looking to buy something, or it's like maybe to rent, to buy a car, to buy furniture, if you're looking to optimize your credit, I say maintain 10% of utilization. So if you have $1,000, you don't want to spend more than $100, right? You want to maintain a 10% utilization, meaning that you have $900 that's available on your account of your $1,000 account, and over time, and that's going to make your credit score jump. But that says that you're a responsible credit user, because you don't over. It says that you don't overuse your utilization. It says that you're, and I mean, it's not so much that you overuse it, but that you don't abuse your credit. So common is 30%, but with 10%, your score jumps up. And that's how those that have 850, 8, well, I've seen over 850, I've seen 857, I've seen 860. So those that in the 800 family, that's at 10%. They mean 10%. Like they have zero late payments. They keep 10%. Credit history, age. So okay, credit history, age. So if you have, so this part here for moms, especially moms and dads, for those that have children, why does this matter? If you have a child and they're like, let's say 13, 14 years old, you can sign them up. Now, if you are in the credit, if you're in the 850 family, if you're in the 750, 850 family, I would definitely say sign them up as a authorized user, because when you do that, you're helping them build credit before they can actually have a credit card. So when they are 18 years old, 21, however, they'll have years of credit that because you made them an authorized user, it'll start when you sign them up before they turn 18, right? So that gives them age. And so when they get their first credit card, they're going to have a decent credit score because you've given them access to your credit. So all the good stuff that you've done on your credit report, it goes down. So they inherit your score before they even get their first credit card. New credit is 10%. So new credit is every time you sign up a new credit. So I would definitely recommend not to get new credit before. I say to stay in the 800s. I say I say 6 months, every 6 months. every 6 months, but every 90 days ask for an increase. Why? It's like, I don't need it. I don't need it. Just because you never know when you will need it. So if you have a credit card that has $1,000 on it, and every 90 days to 6 months, so every 90 days and every so yeah, so every 90, I'll say every 6 months. Every 6 months I like it because it's safe, right? So every 6 months, either it's okay to get a new card, or it's okay to just ask for an increase, right? Because you may feel like you don't need it, but one day you might need it. So you can go from you can have $100,000 sitting there in credit over time, and you may not need it. But it just happens that one time something happens, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I have access to capital. Because when you need it, you will not get it. That's when you need it, because then you're scrambling, and you'll find all these reasons why they can deny you. Oh, because now they think you need money and they don't want to give you money. They want to give you money when you don't need it. Yeah. That's a true statement. And credit mix. So credit mix is 10%. So that means you can have revolving credit, car payment, a mortgage, some people use like Klarna and Affirm. So the problem with those type of loans is that every time you get one, you're getting a new credit, right? So that can negatively affect your credit over time, because it looks like you're opening up new credit, and they're saying 10% of that affects your score. So that's what I meant. Like every 6 months you want to do. So if you're doing it like every month you're opening up another one, that can negatively, you can lose points. You can lose 10 to 15 points in your credit score when you do that. So just be mindful of that when you do, if you do decide to take on the Klarna and or the Affirm loans.
I just want to stop you there real quick. Sorry to stop you in the
No,
middle.
yeah, yeah, of course.
So that part, I think, I'm sure there'll be probably people that are online that agree with me. That's something that's not shared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not known information, because you're made to think and believe that these are like payment plans, which they are,
Right.
and so if in fact, of course, you check out and all that, you're just paying on a payment plan.
Right.
So you're not made to, or it's not understood that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, can also affect. You understand that if you don't make the payments, of course, it can affect your credit, but applying or just doing that up front, I don't think a lot of people know that that affects their credit.
Yeah. And it's new. It's new. It's not something like when it first came out, it wasn't, they didn't see it. But the industry realized, those that I guess the powers that be, I'm not sure, but they realized, hey, there's billions of dollars over here that's not being accounted in the market. And they said, oh, and Klarna and Affirm and those payment plans, they're like, those transactions are not being included in the market. So, but they're saying that the economy has more debt than we realize. And so, because of that argument, that's when they started accounting for it, and they started including it as a part of the factor in your credit score. Yeah. And I'm like, they should have let well be enough, well be alone, because it was helpful for people. Okay, so how we support our clients. We discuss key financial concepts regarding credit report, budgeting savings, creating a budget, tracking expenses, identifying saving opportunities, and setting financial goals. Debt management, understanding different types of debt. Again, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt, a house, that's good debt, right? A car, well, if the car is for a business where you're making money from it, is a good debt. Um, if it's just to kind of get around and like I mean, it can be an argument if it's good debt or bad debt. It depends. So it depends. Um, uh, Going out and buying shoes and clothes and running up a credit card, again, that depends, right? So it all depends, because I never say, oh, you're planning for your future and you want this amount of money, so be so strict to where you can't have fun, where you can't buy nice clothes, you can't buy shoes, you got to give up the coffee. I Because then how do you live? How are you going to enjoy your life? So I say, have a strategy, have a plan, create a budget. So you can say, okay, I remember when I was younger, when I first started creating my budget, I wanted to save a certain amount of money. So so what I did was I had Starbucks every day instead of lunch. Probably crazy, but I had Starbucks every day. And so instead of me going and buying, because in the city, you buying, paying like $25 for lunch. So I was like, you know what? I can save $20. I'll use 5 for my Starbucks coffee and I get to save the 20 to meet my number, to meet my budget. And I would just do that, right? Because it worked for me. But you have to find creative ways where you can say, I want to get to this number. So I still get to enjoy my coffee, but I can do away with the this or that, because I myself, I'm not really a foodie, so it didn't matter to me. But let's just say, if so, it depends on what you want to do. So find your way where you can say, either you can use an Excel spreadsheet, right? You can say, okay, this is the income I receive from my job. This is all my fixed costs. This is like your rent, your light, your gas, your car payment, the kids' schools, all those things. Find out what that fixed number is, and anything on top of that, you say, okay, this percentage I'm going to use for investing. This percentage, 20%. If you are living at home with your parents, I would say invest at least 40%. If you're living at home with your parents and you're not contributing to rent and any of that stuff, invest 40%. Because, friend, you can be wealthy by 40 years old. If you follow that and you get a job and you stay home as long as you could, even if you decide to get an apartment and you decide to move out, stick to your budget, keep your investing strong, you can be wealthy very, very fast. um,
Nice.
yeah. Meet with the financial advisor, get a plan, right? Because a lot of this stuff we're not taught how to budget, save money. And not to mention, we're not taught, if you do it, what your money can look like, right? I've ran calculators for some of my clients, and when they saw what $20, $30 can do over time, that I sat in the class I had with 18-year olds, 17, 18-year olds, and I showed them what if they took $20 a month, what it would look like in 30 years. And they were just like, okay, where do I sign up? And not to mention that, because there's a law of 70, the rule of 72, right? So the rule of 72 says that every 10 years, if the appreciation rate is 7 to 8%, your money doubles, right? The rule of 72, every 7 years, your money, if the interest rate is in the appreciation rate, interest rate, if it's anywhere between 7 8%, your money doubles. That that and that's Einstein said the compound interest, the phenomenon, is a phenomenon, a phenomenon, a phenomenon. Yes. The compounded interest, because your money compounds over time. It grows while you're sleeping. And all you did was say, okay, I'm going to take the excess of my dollars and just let it sit. I'm going to park it in a compounding interest account and just let it grow while I'm sleeping. And then you'll look every month one, month two, month three, year over year, and you're going to see how your money just growing for you while you're sleeping. And so that's why I say, like with the credit, when you pay your credit bills on time and you not taking on more debt than you need to, so instead of you paying back the creditors, you're able to pay towards your future. So, or pay towards your now. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, when you're older. It can be for the next 10 years. Maybe you want to buy a house, you want to buy your dream car. But when you put yourself in, put you can, because you don't need to make a lot of money to do these things. Like, you can just take your everyday dollars and just put them in the right vehicles, right? The right financial vehicles. Even like life insurance. Believe it or not, life insurance can even pay you, but just can pay you while you're alive. Living benefits. Well, there's a living benefit feature, but life insurance can pay you. Like if you set up an IUL. And these things, I would definitely say sit with the financial advisor. Find one this 2026 January and say, hey, help me manage my money, because that's your freedom, that's your power. Because what you're giving yourself, you're going to a job and you're giving your time, your efforts, your God-given skills, your God-given abilities, you're giving to someone else, and they're compensating you for that, right? so you can take that and build the life you want, because that's the doors that God opened for you to give you that ability to do those things, right? So that you're not a slave. But when you allow debt and mismanagement of money, you become a slave to the job because you have all these bills to pay. But when you can say, you know what, I'm free in Christ, so that transitions to your money, right? Because now you have the freedom and the liberty to live the way you want to live comfortably, because you're not beholden to debt and to mismanagement of money. Because believe it or not, that the money that we're given, God is expecting us to be stewards, be good stewards of what we're given. And everything we're given is because of the goodness of God, just the doors He opened for you, just the ways He made God a no way, the promotions you're getting, the income, the streams, all that stuff that God is doing for you to give you freedom, right? The liberty you have within Christ. This is the freedom we have, and it transitions over to just the that dollar.
Amen.
Right? It's and so and so that's why it's like we have to remember, um and these are things I say to myself as teaching my kids. Like, this is not just like I'm talking to you. These are things that I myself have to keep remembering. Like, okay, like the other day I'm driving down the street, and my husband and I was sitting down talking about our budget, and we're like, oh, some things we want to do, and I was just like, oh yeah, we want to get these things done. We have timelines, and so I saw someone. I'm looking. I saw someone on a road that was like homeless, and I was like, I'm like, you know what? Let me just give, because I feel like out of your need, you give, right? Out of your hopes, out of your you give. You don't just keep that to yourself. You give, whether you give your resources, whether you give information, whether you give support. Because this is who we are. Like, we're not sitting down beholden, like, oh, I can't be who I am or who God has designed me to be because I don't have what I need, right? Because I just believe that everything that we are, everything that we need, we already have it. We just don't know we have it. Does that, I don't know if that makes sense. It's like we just
Amen.
have to come to the realization of what we have. And that's why when we hold on to things so tight, then you're trying to grab for something that you already have. But when you give out of that need, you realize I didn't even need what I thought I needed, because Christ, like he alone, He supplies all of my needs according to His riches and glory. So I'm not looking to this world to satisfy my need, to give me everything I need. I'm looking for Christ to open up my eyes, to show me, maybe it's a gift, maybe it's a resource, maybe it's a talent that I had, maybe it's a thing I want to do and I think I don't have enough money. But no, just find
Amen.
find that way, find that,
Yeah.
listen in your heart, listen to what the Spirit of the Lord is saying to you. And because I believe that when you give, you receive. And then that scripture, because if you believe it or not, right, when you're talking to somebody and you just start talking and stuff start coming out of you didn't even know you knew, right? Because you're giving outside of your resources, and you just talking, you're having a good conversation, and you go back, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I knew that. Right? But
So
that's
true.
right, but that's just how God works, and how he opens how He's there. He's an ever-present help. We're never left by ourselves. So we never don't have enough. We actually have more than enough because of who we are. We're and and because I'm like, because we're seated with Christ in heavenly places. Like, we're above and not beneath. And so even though what I see may not look like because what I see is a lie. If I'm not seeing what Christ said, is a lie. It's a lie that I don't believe, because faith is the evidence of things that are not seen, but what is hoped for, right? And so the believer lives a life of faith. We believe it. Even if I don't see it, I believe it like it's there.
Amen. Amen.
Like it's right in my hands, like it's tangible, like it's mine. And I'll say, because like I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and and yeah, it was
Wow.
troubling. And for
Wow.
like, yeah, I went numb for like 2 years. I was just kind of like, ooh, like I was. like I thought my life was over. I thought my dreams, I was just never gonna have them. I thought I was never gonna. I just thought all these crazy things, and
Yeah.
then one day, I don't know, like, and of course I say one day, but then, like it's just I came out of it, and of course God like came to like God. I guess over time, like God just began to like, okay, get up from here, get up,
Yeah.
let's come on, let's move on. And I just was like, you know what? All right, God, you're with me. Like honestly, my life has never been predictable. I've never I had a daughter at 16 years old.
Yes. Tell your story.
Yeah, I had a daughter at 16 years old. I got a job. I worked at a company, and I was there for about 3 months. And I asked God, I was like, okay, God, I I want to do accounting. So I had a job, and I was working accounts payable for a marketing company. And I liked the job. It was really good, but I wanted to do more accounting. But before so I was there for about a year, and I was offered to be the manager of the accounts payable department. And I was like, but I really want to get into books. I really want to do like more heavy, like books accounting. And so I was just like, you know what? No, thank you. I didn't accept the promotion. I accepted a job with a pay cut.
Mm.
I accepted a job with a
See,
pay cut, offering me
keep it
less
on.
money to do more of what I wanted to do. And I just
Yes.
trusted God. I just trusted God. Like I just believed him. I believed he was who he said he was. And I
Yeah.
just trusted him because I didn't have enough anyway. I was a
Yeah.
single mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what so what's the difference, right?
Right.
And
Right.
whether if he didn't do it, I would still not have enough, but if he did do it, I have more than enough. And so I
Amen.
believed him, and after like 3 months my boss was fired and I got his job.
Look at God.
Yeah. 3 months. I
Look
went
at
from
God.
being accounts payable to being, I wasn't the controller, but I sat in the controller seat. And the outside CPA company came in and trained me on how to do the job.
Wow. God is good. Awesome.
Because I didn't
Awesome.
have my degree yet. I just had I had some college. I was educated, but I didn't have my degree yet. Yeah. So the outside CPA
Amazing.
company came in and trained me for. We were there, and I was still doing the job. I stayed there for about a good 4 years, and then I went on. And so from there, I just still had like accounting jobs, like management jobs, like accounting manager, financial manager. I ran the accounting departments. Still, no bachelor's degree.
Wow.
And still making top dollar,
Look.
right? Still
Yes.
no bachelor's degree. And
Yes.
this is what I mean, like just, and then I finally got the degree and I got the job, the title and everything. But at that time, it like God had it was already done. Now all I can say now was that okay, now I have the compensation and the title, but I always had it.
Yes. Yes.
'Cause- right? Because that's what God had did. And so then when I was when I got the title, I was in a park and I was just sitting down minding my business, and some guy walked up to me and was like, "Hey, you want to tell me your story?" I was like, he was like, "I'm doing this book and I'm from California. I'm doing a book and in my publication I write about people." And I was like, "Okay." Like this guy looked like he's just like a wanderer, just somebody that want to I was like, okay, let me support. Like, why not? I'll tell you my story because I didn't think anything that was gonna come out of it. So I told my story. Because when I got the title, I was on the phone with the. When I got the title, I was on the phone with a customer service representative, and I told her, I was like, "Oh my god, guess what?" Da, da, da. Like, and I told her about the promotion. I told her about the title, and she was like, "Okay, like that's nice." And I was like she didn't really care, and I was like, "Well, I don't care, but I got a chance to tell somebody." And so I told him that, and he wrote that in the article. And I told him about being young, like having my daughter at 16, and I told him about the different jobs and kind of doing the job, but not really getting the salary, but not the bigger salary that the actual title comes along with the title until that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so he wrote about it, and it went viral. I got emails from people from Nigeria, from Australia, from from Canada. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, it just went viral, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" But it just goes to show you that you're not alone. Like, you're
Yes.
not alone. That what
Yes.
you were saying to me is that I was there. I know what that feels like. I'm there now. I know
Yeah.
what that feels like to know you could do it, but not giving the opportunity because you don't have the degree yet, or because you
Right.
don't have this, or because you don't have that. And I'm like, well, I'm a witness that when you just like don't stop because of what you feel like you don't have, you have enough. With Christ, we have more than enough. We
Yes.
have more than enough. So and
Wow.
so over time I just started, so yes, so then I started seeing that, okay, so I'm working for these people and I'm seeing what they do, and I'm like, I can do this too. Like I can do this too. And so I stepped away and just started, and I'm seeing the money that they get, the loans and all these things. Bankers take them out, call them, wish them happy birthday, all kind of access. And I'm like, but the regular person don't have that. That's not fair.
Yes.
That's not fair. And so
Yeah.
I stepped away and just started building Plotted Profit. It's,
Wow.
yeah.
So amazing. Now I'm not sure if you're finished with your presentation, but that's
Yes,
fine.
yes,
You
yes.
are okay. I I, I want to say before I go into asking questions, and of course those that are in the chat can feel free to begin to ask questions. But as you said, you're my dear sister. Uh, and our family have known each other for years,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
it's wonderful how things can come full circle with God.
Absolutely.
And I want to say to you, if I don't say it any other time, I don't get to tell you, I'm so proud of who you become. I'm so proud of your story. And a lot of times, we at times might be ashamed to tell our story,
Hmm.
our background. And like I said, people may look at you and they see you now, but they don't know your story. They don't know from what you come. They don't know that you had to struggle and go through certain things just like they did, because they don't know that part because they see you now. So I'm glad that you were able to share
Hmm.
and give that side, so someone watching, whether it's today, later on, down the road, someone watching this can be able to say, hey, I'm experiencing that too. But look where she's at. Look what she's done. I can do the same. And that's what it's all about. It's reminding folks it's not from where you come.
Hmm.
You allowing yourself and allowing the giftings that God has given you and put inside of you to be
Absolutely.
elevated enough to become who He has purposed in life for you to
Hmm.
become. And so I am just so excited, like I said, and I'm so happy because we need people like you to help us navigate through the muddy waters and the things that we may have created in life. And part of it came from us having a lack of knowledge. And the word of God says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And I believe us having lack of knowledge in the area of finances and how to build, that has gotten some of us to where we are currently. And so I want to begin by you gave us your background and how you arrived to where you are. And I want to say the word of God says in Proverbs 16:9, it says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And
Absolutely.
so glad that you've allowed the Lord to direct your
Mhm.
steps. What experiences during your 25 years of accounting career opened your eyes to the financial inequalities that many people are facing even today?
Uh, so I remember one time, so with the promotion, I got a big office. And so I remember going to Starbucks and seeing someone that looked like me sitting out on the ground in front of the Starbucks. And oh, like it hurt me to my heart because because the store that I was working, the company I was working for was a high end bedding company, right? $50, $50,000 for a bed duvet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone can come in and have it for a year, 2 years, and it smells like dirt. It's horrible, and they can come in and return it, no questions asked.
Wow.
And I'm looking there, seeing this guy, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow, like wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the start of it, where I was just like, it hit me hard, where I was just like, okay, that's when I knew that there was two systems. And
Mm.
I mean, and so today there's still two systems. Like when the more research I do, I just can't like if I get like this there's still two systems. Like right now, how I mentioned life insurance, I just got my life insurance license, and I just learned that just not only death benefits in life insurance, there's also living benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you get sick, if you like multiple sclerosis, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
would have known about this before, I would have had if I would have had living benefits before I got the diagnosis, I could have got money from my death benefit amount to get if I want to go to Cuba to get a treatment.
Yeah.
I could have gotten that. But that's the thing, if we're not taught about these things.
Mm-hmm.
So someone like even we talk about trust, like building trust. So just like for the next part of for the next bloodline, like building generational wealth. Because we so as far as like so it's like when we under so not knowing, so someone can buy a house, right? And they're buying a house, they're happy, they're loving, living, and then they perish. Now they didn't have in New York, if there's they'll have to go through probate court. If that family member is not on the deed, they'll have to go to probate court. And
Mm-hmm.
any Joe Schmo can come in and say, "Oh, we made an agreement, so the house is mine." Or it could be a legitimate family member that come in and say, "Oh, that's my that's my father or that's my mother," and then the whole process get halted in the courts
Mm.
until
Wow.
that's figured out, because family member didn't know to put a trust in place to protect
Mm-hmm.
the assets that you want to pass down to your family member. So these are things that are readily that are not expensive anymore. It's just that you have to start looking for them. Start like saying, okay, I want to get and it's not so much that it's kind of like just saying, okay, I want to get my money protected. Where do I go? How do I do it? We have Google, look it up as best you can and just find out the ways that you can protect your income. Even disability. Like if something happens to like people like with life insurance, disability coverage, because you just never know. You just never know. Like my daughter, she's my 30-year-old and my 18-year-old, they're gonna get disability coverage because you just don't know. But what it does is it protects your income. So if
Mm.
something happens to her on a job or she gets ill or something, she's gonna be covered with disability coverage to pay her, so she can continue to pay her rent. She can continue to buy groceries. She can do live a normal life. And these are just small dollars. It's not very expensive.
Wow. That's amazing. Again, these are things I'm sure some people may be aware and some people are not aware. So, knowledge is power, information is power. Um, Thank you for sharing that. And now you may have somewhat touched on this, but as far as the moment that you realized there had to be a better way to help people beyond the traditional accounting, what was that like for you, and how did you find yourself navigating into that?
People coming to me and asking me questions. People coming to me asking me questions, and me sitting there with long conversations. And I was like, I think this is a business. I should make this to a business. Yeah, just a long conversations. And I'm like, yeah. And so I started doing seminars, and and I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing a lot of seminars and I'm not making any money. So
Yeah.
even more so, I was like, okay, let me make this more into like something where we're equally benefiting, right?
Hmm.
Because at the same time I'm giving, but I'm giving, but I'm also there should be a something reciprocated. So I'm
Yes.
like, let me create a business out of this. And so I do the free seminars and the events because it's not like it's so it doesn't create like a barrier for those that don't know. So it's like, oh, only, you can only have this information if you're paying. If you're paying is of course a different type of service you receive.
Hmm.
But when you're for those that this the free service was so or but it's kind of becoming aware that you may need these additional services.
Yeah, and that's true. As far as, like you said, being aware of knowing when you need to have those services, because a lot of times you're not aware.
Right.
And it's good that you understood, hey, this is what's happening with me. This is what I need to do in order to be able to work things out and to help people, because that's part of it. How do you see your work, I guess, as this might be a pretty easy question for you, as stewardship, using what God entrusted, because that's kind of what we're segueing into, and using what God entrusted you with to serve others?
Uh, I do feel like it is a mission. I feel like it's a mission against poverty. I do feel like it because I have to remember sometimes that that it is a business. And sometimes because I want to see people grow financially so bad.
Yeah.
I want because it's not hard. Like it's not hard. I used to think it was like, oh, you have to make these big decisions, but it's small decisions. I told you, the kids, when I said with the and those even more so, the young adults, oh, I because it's like they're 18 years old and they can take time is on their side. They can take so when I taught the young adults, they I after I left, it was a 3-day seminar. After I left, they had Robinhood accounts. They had bought stock in Amazon and Facebook and Facebook, Tesla, and Walmart. So and
Yeah.
but you know how they bought that? Fractionals.
Yes.
$20.
Yes.
And they set up reoccurring payments, reoccurring withdrawals from their bank account to go to that Robinhood account. So they'll have $20 going to those 5 funds. It's 5 funds in total. I mentioned three, I mentioned four, but it's actually 5 funds in total over no, it's four, it's $5, 4 funds, but over the next 20 years. But as they continue to earn more money, what I share with them is don't live. So if you're like, so right now you're getting a summer youth, because it was a summer youth program. You're getting a summer youth paycheck. When you get an actual job, you're going to make more money. Don't spend the excess, invest it. Especially if you're still at home with your mother, invest it, because that money is going to grow, and over time you're going to have more money than you put into it.
Yeah, I like that. What I want to hit, two things you said. Number one, you mentioned about someone that's home with their parents. They could be an older child, like your child. They could be a little bit older, and
Mm-hmm,
maybe there's certain things that they're not paying at this moment.
mm-hmm,
Um, Break down a little bit more. You don't have to go totally in depth, but what are some things that that child, we call them, we're saying child, but they're an adult, but
mm-hmm,
that they can do to fortify themselves.
mm-hmm.
And then also, just talking about the fractional, stock.
Shares.
Yeah, shares.
So for a young adult that's at home, so my first question would be, what is a credit score? Right? Because if you're at home, make sure you pay up. If you're at home and you're working, clear your debt. Clear your debt. Make sure you have no debt. Even if you have a marginal amount, but make sure your debt is being paid on time. You're getting your credit score, and then save your money. Save your money. Open up a high yielding interest savings account and start saving your money. Since you're not working, and save your money. But let's just say, where do you want to be? Do you see yourself leaving? Do you see yourself wanting to go and find a place? Or do you, however you see, whatever you see for yourself, start saving toward that, right? Get 6 months to a year of that in savings in a high yielding interest savings account. And accounts like you can use American Express has one, 3.3%, Ally, SoFi, they all have high yielding savings account, right? So it's saving your money. And so since you're at home, you can also, so Robinhood, right? So save, so credit, saving, high yielding savings account. And then once you build your high yielding savings account, then you can invest, right? Because if you don't have your savings, I don't recommend investing before you have your savings.
Mhm.
But when you have, yeah, I don't recommend it. Well, I mean, if they're living at home, no, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So you want to make sure that they have that. But on the other side, you can also open a Robinhood account and just buy fractionals. So let's just say you have $100. You have $100 a month to spare. So you take $20 of that and just put it to a Robinhood. And the $80, you split that 30-50. So you put the $50 toward saving for your savings plan, and you take the 20 to pay off your debt, right? And the other 20 you put that into Robinhood, right? So you're just moving your income, you're letting it work for you. You're creating a strategy where you have these three components creating something for you,
Got it.
right?
So it's basically when you're doing fractional shares, it can be as low as $5. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
And so I think people tend to say that it's better to do it automatic, where it automatically comes out of, whatever,
Like
however
a,
you direct deposit, whatever. Yeah. So you're saying
you just say direct, like from directly from your bank account.
your bank account, however.
Yes.
So you're saying that even if you did, and this is for adults and children,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, fractional $5,
Mhm.
$10, whatever
Yep,
it is,
yep, yep.
um, it's better to do that than to not do anything, because a lot of times we might look at it and say, I want that stock, Amazon stock, and the Amazon stock might be 2 grand. I forgot what it is now, but and I can't get that at the moment from where I'm at financially,
Hmm.
but I can
Hmm.
actually still invest in
Absolutely.
by doing a fractional stock.
Yes, absolutely. Because with Robinhood, so what Robinhood did, they changed the face of investing. Because
Yeah.
before that, and even like with the market, 20 years ago, you couldn't even buy stock. Like even the uber wealthy, they had to pay a broker, and the broker would charge them a lot of money to invest their money.
Hmm.
And the actual worker, like the middle class family, they still had to know a friend and know a friend and know a friend in order to be able to invest in the market.
Hmm.
And so over time, the game has changed to where we have in our today, in our generation, we have a company like Robinhood, we have the Vanguard, we have the Fidelity, we have these investment platforms where we can, and because of Robinhood, it's moved these other big companies like the Vanguard and Fidelity to be able to offer fractional shares because they was not offering it before until Robinhood came to the game and just kind of changed the face of how things are done.
Yes, it did. And again, just wanted to reiterate, for those that are not doing it, to know that there is an opportunity for you to do it. And what were the places that they can go to again for the fractional stock?
Robinhood. Just create a
Hmm.
Robinhood account. Yep. Just create a Robinhood account and go to the shares. And people always say, well, where do I invest? I say, well, where do you spend your money? Where do you spend your money? Do you shop at Walmart? Do you shop at Target? Right? Because those are places you shop. Now they're like, oh, I want to get, I heard this company and crypto and this and that. I say, research it.
Yeah.
I say research, but because these companies like Walmart, Target, they're what's called aristocrats. Like they've been in Coca-Cola, they're
Yeah.
called aristocrats. These their stocks, they've been around for years, right?
Yes.
And
Hmm.
so they're not going anywhere. Well, for right now,
Right.
like Lord help us, they're
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Yes.
Like a Coca-Cola. Like so you want to do your research, but mainly like if you shop somewhere, you're like, okay, I shop here all the time. So and you so basically I was telling the young adults, I was like, you go to Walmart, your family go buy groceries and things at Target. And when you walk in knowing you own shares, you look at things differently. You look around like, hey, there's no customer service people here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
or oh wow, I go in the store and there's great customer service. They're so attentive to my concerns. They answer all my questions. Oh my gosh, they're so kind. Or they called me back. I called them and I had a complaint and they followed up on it and I was able to get results. You want to see? I wonder if they're trading. I wonder if this company is on the stock market, right?
Mm.
Somebody's talking about a gene. They're like, oh, these. I'll just say, oh, these berry jeans. Oh,
I
these
like
berry jeans. Everybody's talking about, oh, we're buying, like there's like, oh, she has berry jeans and these berry jeans. You're like, who is this company? Look it up, see what it's doing on the stock market. Because now with Google, you don't have to say much. You can just say
that.
what's the ticker. Like you don't even have to know the name. You don't have to say what's the ticker. What you know. You could just say. What is the stock price for the flossy jeans, the berry
Yeah,
jeans?
the
What's the
very
stock price for the berry jeans? I want to order on Robinhood. Where do I go? How do I do it? Right? Like it's like
yeah.
we have like these search engines that are so powerful that we don't even have to spell it correctly, right? To get the information.
Right. And now another question for you is, for you, when you found yourself in a financial hardship, um, how do I want to put this? And you didn't know how you were going to get out, or you felt like you didn't know how you were going to get out. How did you move from where you were to where you are now?
um,
Because there's a lot of people that
oh
they may be in one
yeah.
right now.
So
They never
no,
experienced it. So yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, I have a story to tell. So no, so I lost my apartment. Yeah, I lost my apartment. Um, that yeah, I lost my apartment and I went back home.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin had said, because I this is before I got salvation. I was just kind of my early. I think I was like 18, 19 years old, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really taking like money serious. I wanted to party and all these things, and so I wasn't paying my bills, things of that nature. And I lost my apartment, and
Mm-hmm.
so then so I lost my apartment, and so a series of things happened. Um, and this was also after I got saved. So I stopped the partying. But I had already did damage. I had already did the damage. I had
Got
already did
it.
the damage that I
Yeah.
wasn't paying my bills, and so, but
Mhm.
I had found Christ. I got saved, and so this was after salvation. This happened, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
life happens. This was
Yeah.
after I knew Jesus, and it's
Mhm.
kind of like I came home and it was a eviction sign on my apartment door, and
Hmm.
right, and I'm like, Lord, what are we gonna do? And so I went back home. I went back home, and my cousin gave me like this small. Thank you, Dante, if you're watching this. But my cousin gave me, because we grew up in a brownstone, and so my cousin gave me a small, like we were neighbors, right, Flossie? And so
Yes.
my cousin gave me a small room. Me and my little baby. She had to be like 4, maybe 5 years old, and we got a room like the size of a bathroom, a small
Mm.
room. And I said, okay, okay, I'll take it. Like it's a big house, but then we got a small room.
Right.
I was
Right.
like, okay, I'll take it. And so what I did was I just saved my money. I saved my money. I didn't I stopped like just looking at like, because now I'm in Christ, I just looked at God as my provider. And I
Mhm.
think in Psalms 23, that like he's my shepherd. And
Yeah.
he's not just he's my good shepherd.
Yes.
So then that scripture just spoke to me. It
Mhm.
spoke to me like and it's a promise that I held on to until today. I hold on to this scripture, and
Yes.
I did it to myself, right? But the thing is that so it's just like I just believe like he put a table before me in the presence of my enemies. But
Mhm.
the mere fact of the table,
Mm.
right, is a
Yeah.
table set for two. There's
Yes.
a table set for two, for me and for him. I've been invited to this table. Like
Mm.
he loves me, he cares me, he's gonna get me through this, and we're gonna be okay. We're
Yeah.
gonna be okay. And so
Yeah.
I just saved my money, and in 6 months, and like 5 months. 5 months, I'm walking up the block, the next Putnam, a block away, and
Uh-huh.
there's a sign outside that said two-bedroom apartment for rent for $600 a month.
Wow. Can we have that now? Jeez. Oh God. I'll take it. Wait.
Yeah, I was like, and so I wanted all my money to go. So me and my cousins because I have a big family. Me and my cousins were taking beds, taking mattresses, taking clothes, and walking it down the block.
Oh my God.
And walking it down the block. Yep, we did
Wow,
that.
that is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
Go ahead.
yep. And so, sis, and then my daughter, she danced to all these things. And I look back and I'm just like, I don't know how we did it. Like, she traveled, she had recitals. And I just be like, but one thing I did do, and I will, this is one thing I did, and I gave, like, not so much, like, I'm not saying that, um, I just believe that my not enough is still not enough. So I'm going to give it, right?
Mm,
I'm
I
going to give
like that.
out of my not enough because I already don't have enough, right? But
Mm,
because if I have enough, I feel like, well, what I have is not enough anyway, right?
gotcha.
So I'm gonna it's not so much that I'm giving to anyone for something, but I'm letting go of myself. I'm letting go
Yeah,
of me thinking I have the ability to do it. And so,
got
and it comes with my money because I think that my money solves problems for me. Where
yeah.
I'm backing up and allowing God direct my path. God, open up my eyes, God. Like,
Yes.
say, this is what I say. Open up my eyes. Let me see. Let me see what you have for me, God. Because I know, like, if He asks the servants to open up His eyes, like, God, I'm your servant. Open up
My eyes. Yes, yes.
so I can see, right? Because he saw was more the more with them than against them. Like, he saw was so yeah, I do believe that it's that my like let me see, because maybe I'm not seeing the situation from the right perspective. Maybe I'm not seeing the opportunities the way before me. And so as you walk, you start because you just start seeing opportunities. You start seeing things happen to things that you thought were hard. They're now easy. They're not as bad as you thought they were. It's like, oh, because like I said, I want to create generational wealth. I didn't know how that was gonna happen. I just believe God. I don't know if it's gonna happen, like, but I believe God.
Yeah.
I believe God. I that no, like, I believe God. Like, why not? Why not? Why not me? Why not me, Dream? Why not? I have a God that's more than enough. Why not?
In saying that, I think we are, and I love that you are talking about faith and believing God and standing on it and standing on the principles, irregardless, and the fact that you gave out of your not enough
Hmm.
is truly a testament. We are living in a time where I know that there are people that are backed up against the wall and they're trying to figure it out, and they're trying to figure out how can they navigate and what can they do, and maybe they've been in something so long that they've lost some of their faith. Maybe they had that faith like you right now,
Hmm.
where they stood on principle and they stood and they said, well, I know God can do it. But because things have happened to them, and one hit after another, and they might find themselves in a place of where they might doubt
Hmm.
somewhat. They haven't lost soul faith, but they might doubt
Absolutely.
somewhat.
Absolutely.
Um, so, what would you say to that person that is in that? Maybe you would say in between. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
That in that in between where they're going through some things and they're trying to make it financially, and they're getting hit here and there, but at the same time they know God is able to do it, and for
Right.
them it's like win.
Hmm.
It might be
Hmm.
a win. What
Hmm.
would you say to that person? Since again, you were saying it didn't matter. I trusted God. What would you say to that person?
So, um, so what I would say to that person, because life, life, we're all everybody is different,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has different callings and different um ways that God chooses to raise us up and chooses to train us and teach us as his kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a so I try not to just assume that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. I try not to jump and say, well, do the, because everybody's different, right? Because
Right.
we have a father, and so sometimes things can take time
Yeah.
because our father is teaching us. he's
Mm-hmm.
he's 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 taking us to the school of of awakening something on the inside of us,
Mhm.
and that doesn't happen overnight,
Mhm.
right? And so
Right.
sometimes things may seem like it's long, and we have to just remember to be patient and to
Yeah.
just be strong and just to follow, like
Yeah.
keep going, don't stop just because it's taking long, keep going. But then, because what happens in the waiting, you get to see who you are.
Mhm.
You get
And
to
what
see
you're made of.
who you are. Well, I mean, well, but this just who you are. Like,
Mhm.
oh God, I could be a little impatient,
Mhm.
or oh God, Lord, help my unbelief. Like, I
Yes.
believe, but Lord, help my unbelief. And in that, there's this constant building of this closeness, to where, because what I've found is that some things I thought I needed, I didn't need.
Mhm.
So some things I wanted, I wanted, and I'm finding that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, I just signed up, like I just signed up for this marketing company.
Mhm.
I paid them a few $100, and I just did stuff on ChatGPT that I could have did by myself. I could have did it. I was like, I didn't even need that. I thought I needed this marketing company, but I didn't even need them.
Mhm.
So you see what I mean? I'm finding that over and over and over again. I'm thinking I need stuff that I don't need. But am
Mhm.
I waiting? Am I waiting? Am I just going back there, like, and just in my I guess in him just allowing me to just do it. And I'm like, I didn't need that. So now I spent more money than
Yes. That
just,
happens to us for
and so,
real.
and so I think he guards us from that. I think he guards us from that, from us expending needless energy before we're ready. And so that's when we have the waiting period, the
Mhm.
waiting where we're training and we're being used. And it can sit, you can, because it can sit back and just be like, um, oh wow, God, I'm watching, this and that, but what about me? And it's just like, I, uh, I guess I, in my, because I do, of course, we have seasons of waiting. We have seasons of waiting. And I just realized that, um, like, God, you know best. And so in my waiting, I'm not gonna complain. In my waiting,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna complain, I'm gonna praise. But I'm also gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn of you. I'm gonna learn. If it's something that interests me, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna take a course. I'm gonna go to YouTube. I'm gonna find it. If I can't afford it, I'm gonna keep looking till I find it for free.
Free.
I'm gonna yeah. I'm
That's
gonna look on Coursera. They also, like, Coursera has a monthly membership that's like $50. Okay, it's $50. So I'm going to it's $50 a month, and they
yeah.
have all this stuff like cybersecurity and this or that, all
Yes.
the
Yes.
classes. And so I'm just gonna pay $50 a month, and I don't have to sign up to this person's $5,000 course.
Right.
But I pay 50, and I got the same information. But I'm gonna learn and build up my skill set, so that when God is ready to, like, move, and that I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm not gonna use my idle time complaining and just being like, "Woe is me," because it's not.
Yeah.
It never is that. Like, it's never is that. If you're waiting, it's for a reason. Like, because
Yes.
I found that even in my waiting stages, and I'm always waiting. Like,
Yeah.
it's always, like, it's never like, oh, damn, it's over, yay. But
Mhm.
I found that in between, you're dealing with more of you, more layers of you that you didn't even think about before. Like, yeah, like, you're like, um let me see. Um yeah, like, you're like, um what can I say? Um
Like, okay, what you just said, like you're dealing with more than you would have thought. But I think what you're saying is totally on point. And it one thing I can say about God, God is timely. And I don't have to mention this. I just want to mention it because I'm sitting here and I am like, again, how God shows himself even in the midst of this call with you and I. I usually work next year will be every Sunday. God's say the same, but almost every Sunday I'll come on and I'll do like a 10-minute, 15-minute, where I give a word or, of encouragement or upliftment. And today, what I spoke about and the things that I spoke about in that segment
Yes.
you're like hitting on so many things. And
Mhm.
so I'm sitting here, so if you see me extra smiling and all that, it's because I'm like, God, you are something else. You just be, he really is. He shows you himself. Like you might ask for certain things, and like,
Mhm.
you might be looking for certain things, and you don't know how it's gonna come.
Right. Right.
Even your confirmation on things.
Mhm.
And we're just in a conversation, and again, like I said, a lot of things that you're bringing out and that you brought out tonight are just things that he allowed me to share. And
Mhm.
so I love it because, again, like how I said, us coming full circle, and then God just showing his hand and everything. He's like, it's like, I know how to connect the dots, and I know, what you need, how you need
Mhm.
it, and how it should go. And he just shows his hand, and it just reconfirms to you
Mhm.
as an individual, God is with me. God
Yes.
hears me. God
Yes.
hears my prayer. And
Mhm.
so, and you even advising others that, I'm getting emotional, and I don't want to go. Usually, when the spirit comes and moves, I go up, and I'm going to go up in tongues in a minute. I'm trying not to because we're on the type of show we on. I
Right.
feel him moving. I feel him moving. But Shundo, yes, God. So, but like what I want to say, like even what you were saying again about reminding us
Yeah.
when we're in those phases, and that's kind of part of what it is too. We have to remind ourselves,
Mhm.
why am
Mhm.
I here? My experience, it, what is it here to do? What is God looking to shape in me? What is
Mhm.
he looking to bring out in me? What more of me does he need me to show or to introduce or to reintroduce to folks? Because it has to be something in you that God is trying to bring out as you are going through the process. It's just like when we talk about facets of a woman, and in order to get those real diamonds, you got is there's a
Mhm. Mhm.
and so, in order for us to come out and to be who God has desired us and designed for us to be, there is a press. And
Mhm.
even in the press, it's hot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you want to get out of the press.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you stay in the press, God
Mhm.
begins to show you and to make you and mold you and to make you into that individual, that people.
Mhm.
It's not just about you. And
Mhm.
like your story, it's not just about you. You lived it, but it
Right.
was for somebody else. And that's just really kind of how it is, whether we want to face that or not. We live it,
Right.
but it's really for somebody else. And so, at such a time as this, when you're able to come and to share your story, and then folks are like, oh, wow, I didn't even know. I'm going through that too. I can now, I see an example of
Mhm.
someone that experienced it and they held on to their faith and they did not let it go. Does not mean what the word of God says, be not weary in well doing, and due season you'll reap if you faint not. Does not mean at times that you will not get weary. Does not mean at times you want to give up. But the fact that you hold on and you held on, you become a testament to others. And that's really what it's all about. So I really thank you for that. And I want to move on. I got a few more questions. I
Oh,
mean, this live can actually go to for 2 hours if I let it, but we're gonna cut it. But I just have a few more questions for you. And in talking and dealing with people, because you deal with so many different people and different aspects, how as an individual, trying to get this question out, because I want to go in a little bit into generational wealth. Uh,
mhm.
but before getting into that, the mindset of a person, what
Mhm.
are some of the things that you think are needed to be in the right mindset to understand the growth financially, to be able to grow financially, to be able to do certain things, and to build not only for you but for your family? The mindset. What is it that you feel that we as a people need in order to understand and get there? If I phrase that correctly.
So, um, what? So as as a believer, what I'm finding over and over again, even in my bottlenecks, I'm always asking God, show me who I am, right? Show me who I am. Show me who I am in this season. How do I respond to this season? This what's happening right now. How do I be? I've never lived this season before. I've never been here. Show me. Because when I meet people and they ask me to fix their credit, they always say when they get frustrated on their job, they go shop. They go do this, they go do that because they're using their money to satisfy something that only God can satisfy.
Mm.
Right? So that's where the mindset come in yet. That God, I need you for those spaces. I need you in those areas where I can't handle it. And so instead of me waste my money, pick up the chips, pick up this, pick up that, let me pick you up. Let me come spend time with you. Let me come and let you minister to me. Let me come and sit in your presence. Right? And this is a daily walk. This is the daily
Mhm.
walk. Like we're like, because then we're able to see clearly. We're not blindsided by those emotions, their emotions, because the enemy like to dingle our emotions and use it against us. And so instead of us building up our life, we're tearing it down with our own hands because you're first married to yourself before you married to anybody, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So right, so we're then tearing it down by unable to control our emotions. So it's like God, like so then we're asking for help. But so and so this is reasons why you do things like set it and forget it, right?
Mm.
So then once you set it and forget it, you don't even see it. Like your 401k, you don't see that money coming out of your account, right? The Roth IRA, the HSA, the FSA, you don't see that money coming out. So, devil, you didn't even see that. Can't get access to it. You don't see that coming out. You have savings taken automatically from your bank account to a high yielding savings account where it's going to take you a few days to get it. So when you're having that emotional moment, you can't even get to it because by the time you get it, you're like, I don't even need it because now you're over it, right? But
Yeah.
so it's locked away. So the
Mhm.
best that's why you put things in place. You set it and forget it where you can't have access to it. And if you can't do that, find an accountability partner. Find someone you trust. And you know why? Sometimes we get into these problems because everything is so secretive. Like we don't want to say, I'm not doing that great. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to get here. I'm here and I'm trying to get here. Like I need your accountability. Like and you
Mhm.
of course you can't say that with everybody. You have to find somebody you can trust because
Yes, very
you don't
true.
you don't need condemnation. You don't need that. Like you
Yeah,
don't need
yeah.
somebody blah blah. It's kind of like everybody has something. Like please.
Yeah,
But
exactly, exactly.
so it's like somebody that you could be accountable for because you're building, right? Because just the mere fact that you're saying, I want somebody to be accountable for me, that's a big step. That's a big step to say that, to be open to say, hey, I'm being honest with myself and I need accountability. And you're saying, hey, I'm going to give you this, or I'm going to put this in this account and I need you to check it every 60 days to make sure that that number is there and check me if it's not. You have some accountability. So you know that person is going to check in on you, right? You're
Right.
not left to yourself.
The
And
devices.
yeah, so but then after a while, so you're putting these practices in place, and so after a while, you're creating a new habit,
Yeah.
and then the mind. So then this is the way God designed humanity, right? So now
Mhm.
you're using these steps, these little principles, and you're creating a new habit. So instead of you, when you feel like emotion, then you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take any money out of the bank. I'm not going to the bank. I'm not. Oh, I'm not gonna carry cash. I'm not gonna carry cash. I'm not gonna carry my credit cards. I'm gonna leave them at home. I'm not gonna walk around with them so that you don't have access to it. So that you're creating the habit of my money is making money for me. My money is growing for me. My money is not gonna become a weapon used against me.
Yes. I love that. I love that. A few more questions, and I'm going to give you your time back. Going into generational wealth,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like in creating that? Like we talk about generational wealth,
Mm-hmm.
being able to create that even beyond money. We're talking education, mindset, ownership. What does that look like, and how can families begin building that wealth if they're starting late or they're limited with their resources?
Life insurance.
Okay.
Life insurance. Starting late, life insurance. Life insurance to me is the great wonder. Life insurance. Because the policy we just I was just sitting in a they call like an illustration, right? Illustration where this guy um he's gonna pay a few $100 a month for $1 million policy.
Mm.
The million
Wow.
dollar policy, yes, for $1 million life insurance policy. And then you know what he's gonna do? So what he's gonna do, because with the company that we work with, you can set up a trust for anywhere from so you can set up a trust anywhere from $850 to $3,000, right?
Mhm.
So before you had to pay like anywhere from 12 to like $20,000 to set up a trust, right?
Mhm.
But these are basic trusts because there's different type of trusts. There's dynasty trust, there's infinite banking trust, there's but for like a basic trust to kind of protect your assets so that your family can get what you leave them. When you leave instructions, you can say, okay, if my son don't go to college, he's not going to get this until he's this age. Or if so you create basically boundaries, so
Mhm.
if you're not there, you still your requests still live on. Right?
Gotcha.
If he doesn't get married, I don't want him to take this money into, or if he doesn't open up a business, or you know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
your barriers as to what he can have access to even after you're gone, right? So you what you would do is open up a trust, start a trust, and then put a life insurance to the trust.
Okay.
Yes, you have to be healthy to get a big policy. You do. When you don't have to be healthy, you'll just pay more. You'll
Okay.
pay more. So you'll pay a lot more for a policy. But what you could do is get a couple of smaller policies.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can't get the big policy, you can get a couple of small policies, or you can open up an IUL and just make bigger contributions in the IUL. What's the IUL?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
a universal life insurance policy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a universal life insurance policy where you put money into that policy, and it'll build cash value. You can borrow against it, meaning that you as a person and what you leave behind, you can leave the death benefit and the
Now
cash
that
value.
what I want to say is because it's she has, like I said, a lot of information, and I told her that there'll probably be a part two, and I think when we do the part two, we'll deal with, and you can add more if you want. I think we should deal with, of course, the life insurance. We should deal with the trust,
Absolutely.
and building the generational wealth, along with what can businesses do, because you got people that have businesses and they want to know, well, what are some things that I can do to be able to navigate and to continue to successfully build my business. So I think these are some of the things that will you and I'll talk, but we could definitely do a part two to add
Yes.
to this, because like this, it's a wealth of knowledge and it's information. Some of us have that information, some of us have some of the information, and some of us may have not heard of anything that you're saying on tonight. So that's very important, and it's very important to us, and to me. I don't know, will you finish answering your question, because I kind of jumped in. I don't
Oh,
know. Yeah.
but I will say, I said to myself, if I would have known about, so the IUL is new. Like I started saving investing like when I was 20, but the IUL is new, so I didn't know about it then, right?
Hmm.
But for my kids, that's what they're doing. We're setting them up IULs, and because so they don't, everything is going to IUL. They don't have to save their money. They're just gonna put everything in the IUL. And in the IUL, it's called index funds. So I mean, we'll have to have a bigger conversation where I'll have an illustration
Yes, yes, that's what I'm
what that
saying.
looks like. If you put XYZ amount of money per month, how that grows over time, how you could borrow against it to start your business, pay yourself back. And if you, because you'll borrow against it, especially if you're like in your early 20s, 30s, your money is still growing. So when you borrow against it, right, your principal stays. You're borrowing from the insurance company. So your principal remains and it's going to continue to grow. So that number that's there, you can say you could pay it back or you could choose not to. But it's going to be picked up in the death when you perish, right? But when you
Okay.
have so much, you may notice or you may not. But you just want to pay the interest. You want to pay the interest, or
Right.
when you want to look at what that numbers look like. But that's the flexibility they give you because the wealthy, that's what they do. They don't take income; they borrow because the cost of borrowing is better than being taxed.
And see, these are things that we need to know.
Mhm. Yeah,
we
when I
need
tell
we
you,
need to know all of this stuff, with everything happening and changing in this world.
mhm.
And like I said, I said this before, and I'll say it again. The Word of God says, "My people perish for the lack of knowledge. And it is so true. And so, if we have people that have knowledge in various areas, we want to make sure that their voice is being heard and that other people are hearing what you have to say so that they can then turn around and say, okay, you know what? I like what she has to say. I need to do this, or I need to reach out to her and do this. And so, to kind of wrap this up, what are some, I guess, pointers or things that you want to say to people as to kind of begin the process of moving forward and building?
Right.
It could be some short, you know.
Sure. Create a budget.
Hmm.
Create a budget. Save, invest, life insurance.
Okay.
So budget, B for budget, S for savings, um, I for investing, and I for insurance. BSII, budget,
All right.
savings, investing, insurance. And honestly, I would say insurance over everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Why? Because insurance, if I would have known what I know now, I would have put my money in insurance plan because it has multiple, it satisfies multiple things at one time. So it gives me the investing, it gives me the living benefits, the death benefits. So instead of me paying in all these different areas, that one payment will set me up for life and my generations beyond me, generationally. It'll set me up generationally, just life insurance by itself.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, how can people reach out to you if they have any questions, if they want to do work some things out with you, do business with you? Can you please tell them how they can reach out to you?
Yes, so I have here the QR code for my business, but I mean, right here, info at Plotted Profits. Send me an email. Info at Plotted Profits. Send me an email. You can. It's not here listed, but my business number. I don't know if you could post it. It's 877
Go ahead.
312
Mm-hmm.
3386. And I would say more than anything, first, what do you want? After what you heard, what do you want? What do you want your life to look like? Because before it's almost like when you dream it, when you see it, you get to visualize it. You get to see what you want. It's almost like when the last time you dreamed. When the last time you just kind of let yourself just dream and just say, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want to live like this, I want to have this kind of money, I want to like do those things. Write it down. Write it down. Make the vision plain. I'm telling you.
Write the vision and make it plain. Right.
There's no magic button, but what happens is that you then become into the mindset of what you want, and you'll begin to see it. You'll begin to see it more clearly. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some things that that was right in front of me that I didn't see it until I got into the mind frame of wanting that. Like my husband, I can, I, I can go there, but
Hey, kudos to him. Yeah. Big ups.
but yeah. So I mean, we'll be here all day if I tell the story. But
Next time.
next time I'll go into more detail. But it's like until you get into the mind frame of not so much that I can't have this and I can't do this and I can't. When you're like, I can and I will, it's gonna come to me. God's gonna provide a way. Like when you get to that mindset that
Yeah.
you know what, I may not see it now, but I'm gonna say He's gonna open up my eyes. Like I can have all things. I can like there's nothing hidden from me. There like I have the peace of God. There's nothing missing, nothing broken. Like these things are coming. Like when you're telling yourself these things,
Yes.
I used to write this stuff on my mirror. I used to put posters on my mirror. I would put post-its on my mirror, like
Yes.
everything that God. I would find scripture what God said about me, and I would put posters on the mirror, like I would read them to myself. This is I did this. I wrote. I took post-its. I was looking to see if I had any posters around me, but I took posters and I wrote scriptures of what God said about me, and I
Mm-hmm.
wrote them on my mirror. So as I was reading them, I was reading them to me. I was reading His promises, and I saw my face. I
Yes.
saw my face through what I was reading. So that's how I was knowing, saying it to me. I was speaking to my conscious and subconscious mind,
Yep.
reminding me who I am.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking to your subconscious mind, reminding yourself who you are. Um, Before we end, did anybody in the chat have a quick question that they wanted to ask Valerie while we have her here, before we end our session? Anybody? Do some quick typing. But in the meantime, while we wait to see if anybody comes up with a question, you may have answered a whole lot of them, but I just again want to say I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and gracing us with your presence. I am so honored, and I'm excited to see what God is going to do and how He's going to just begin to build on what you are already doing.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I thank God that of the direction that you are going in, and that's so important too, knowing the correct and right direction to move in at a time in your life. And so I think that that's
Flossie, I gotta tell you, I don't always know.
no, yeah,
I don't always know. It opportunities just seem to come its way, and I kind of know whether it's the right way or not. That's the only thing. But I
yes,
don't always know.
yes, I love that.
I'm moving with what I do know. So instead of me not knowing and not moving, right? So what I do know, I move with, and if the rest of like it'll come to me because a lot of times people they know stuff and they're like they're waiting for something else to happen.
Yes,
Move with what you know. You
yes,
know what He said. You know what He's giving you. Move with that. And once He see that you've been a good steward, what He gave you so far, then more will come, and it
yes,
comes over time. And so then and so that's why you have to be to flow with Him, because sometimes things are happening so fast you find yourself like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, but you're
yes,
like, you have to pause and be like, but God, you're with me, so you won't allow me to become overwhelmed. Like,
right.
this is not more than enough. This is what you've given me. But
Amen.
it's more so moving when He's moving,
I
but you
love that.
don't always know. You
Yeah.
don't. When I first started, I saw the commercial where there's a commercial with a kid that's like boss baby, and he's a boss baby. He's in his high chair,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and business is open, and he's like, "Come, this business is open. Like everybody come in," and you can see like the weeds is going. And so yeah, you don't always know. Like things can you'll think, oh yeah, this is what God told me to do, and I'm feeling so excited, and the phone's not ringing, nothing's happening, there's no movement, and you just like, okay, okay, maybe tomorrow, okay, and you go through the process of it not happening as fast as you would like it to, but you
Yeah.
just still trust, like
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, like because God, you wouldn't have given this to me,
I
like you
mean,
give me this idea, so I trust you.
amen. And something that you said that was pertinent. Keep moving.
Yeah,
It's like water,
yeah.
movement with water. So you got to just keep moving. And as you move, I believe opportunities, doors, ideas, planning.
People.
Yes, the way that it's supposed to go will begin to manifest itself because why? You're in movement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the important thing, to be in movement, but moving in the right direction, but in movement.
Right, right. You don't pick up any opportunity. That's why when you're moving, you're listening.
Yeah.
You're listening. You're in tune. So when God is like, "Oh no, that's not it," you're like, "Oh, but that seems so good."
So right.
Oh, but you're like, "But that's not it." Like, okay, okay, okay. And
And
that's just being your father and just being a daughter, right? Being a daughter
yeah,
and just like, okay, that, and you're like, ah, and you might go to through a period, a few days, just feeling like I really wanted that, like I really wanted that, and later on you find out that you didn't need it, but in that moment you could have felt. But it's just kind of like the process.
and it's true. And you know what? 9 times out of 10 later on, you do feel like you find out you really didn't need it, and you find out what was attached to that. So that's
Mhm.
very, very true.
Mhm.
And so just I think what helps as you're saying this is in this season that we're going to have to quiet the noise.
Mm.
So
Yes.
that means I
Yes.
have to disconnect from certain things and even certain people in
Yes.
this day and in this hour in order to be able to um, hear God or hear
Mhm.
from God,
Mhm.
or if in fact God is moving me in a particular direction, to be able to move in that direction because I clearly know this is the way I believe He's moving me. Whereas if I have noise in my ear,
Mhm.
or too many things that are taking my focus,
Mhm.
led astray or led in the wrong direction. So it's very important too. So again, like I said, thank you so much for being on this platform. I truly appreciate it. We're looking to do a part two. I know it's needed. I just want to make sure that what I am doing is providing information that's needed, that's going to uplift and uplift, uphold, encourage, empower, and giving people the resources of how they can obtain. Everything is not just about you listening to us, but being able to give you resources. This is how you can do it. And I think that a lot of that's missing, has been missing. And I want to be the bridge to be able to do that. One of the bridges to be able
Amen.
to do
Amen.
that.
Amen.
So prayerfully, everyone, I hope thank you all that have, were able to come on and join and hear. Make sure you share this. And we want you to like and subscribe on the YouTube. I don't know if you have your YouTube up, but I have mine's up, Facets of a Woman. Please make sure you subscribe, like, share, because others do need to hear this. And we appreciate you and your time. Thank you for hanging in there for the time that we're here. Hope it was good for you. Hopefully you enjoyed. Lady Grace, love you for being on, and all of it. My sister and all my other sisters, Tracy, all the different people I saw, Laretha. Oh, I thank God for every single one of you that came on to support Jackie, my dear sis, to support. And we pray you all receive something, even if it was a nugget. Yaman so sheba. Ikanana maha. Yebe sha. I pray that you all receive something from this, because it's good to be informed, and God would have it that we are well informed. Love you all. Don't forget to check us back out. We're going to try to be back. We're not going to try. We're going to be back. Sorry, in January, and I'm going to try to connect with Val for her to also be back, whether it's January, February, whatever meets her schedule. We'll do that. But thank you again. Love you all. Have a blessed night and a happy, blessed, prosperous New Year's. God bless all.
Yes. Happy New Year's.